Here's my.
It is 8:10. Raw Mike Richards. It is a Tuesday, and we're getting ready for playoffs. So, as you know, all throughout the year, it's always meet the Steelheads. So you spin the wheel, and all these players show up, and we love each and every one of these guys. Last night, I'm like, going to the playoffs. We talking playoffs? You talking playoffs? Yeah, we're talking playoffs. So I said to Crackers, he goes, who do you want? Yeah, Chuck. I want Charlie Callahan. That's who I want. Don't mess with me. 2 minutes later, Charlie's in, and here he is this morning, right with us. Chuck Callahan. Charlie, how you doing, son?
Good. Wasn't expecting the call last night from Cracks, but happy I got it.
Oh, are you kidding me? I know who to talk to. I know how this plays out. And I got to be honest, it was so weird. So the first time we meet you, and then in that whole, I'd say 3 weeks, everybody who came on this show was sidelined. Everybody was hurt somehow, wasn't playing. I'm like, oh, well, the show's a curse now? Every time someone comes on together, because you had to miss some time, and that had to suck for you because you're way too competitive to sit there and watch a game.
Yeah, it was horrible. Me and Ty actually got hurt in the same play, but I was out for nine games, 3 weeks, so there were some big games in there too, and we kind of went on a little skid during that time. But yeah, it was really tough watching. I hate watching games. Well, hockey.
It's not who you are, and so finally the season's over, and against Oshawa, it was a little bit of a roller coaster game. But you know what? It none of that matters. Like I would think to a man on your team, whatever happened in the regular season's gone. It does, to a degree. Who you play, I don't think was necessarily. You were picky about it. You just needed to get into the playoffs. You do. So this matchup against Barrie, what is this for you? What are you thinking you need to do against the Colts?
My biggest thing for Barrie, I think, is just the little details in our game, being consistent for a full 60 minutes. We've had a couple games where we've given them goals late in the game, and which ended up causing us to lose. But also another thing is that playoff hockey, you gotta be the bullies and not get bullied. So I think a big mentality for us going to Barrie is trying to bully their top players around, make them uncomfortable, goad them into taking penalties and stuff like that.
So, because I want to know. So there's Chuck. The game's about to start. What's going through that head of yours? What are you thinking? You see their big star, and I'm just going to call him. I don't know what it is, but a really irritating name. Blaine. Let's just call him Blaine. And you know that you're going to go and you see Blaine skating out there. What goes through your head a little bit? What goes through the Callahan mind?
If I get a chance to hit Blaine, then hit Blaine. That's my thought process.
Blaine going down. The price is wrong, bitch. That's what's going on there. And see, the other thing too that seemingly happened a lot was you guys would outshoot the other team, and the goalies would stand on their head.
Oh yeah, we've had a couple of those games this year where we just can't do anything against the goalie. I think that was a big reason why we went a little skid. Our goal scoring kind of dried up a bit. But back to the last couple of games here, like 4 or 5 last games this season, we kind of started putting up numbers again, getting like 4 or 5 goals a game. So that's kind of came back. But yeah, we've had a couple where we just can't put anything through a goalie.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling that's going to change now. Brendan, who's actually going to be doing your game, you're on Friday. Brendan, you got a question?
Yeah, I'm just wondering. You're an older guy on the team. What can you do to help out the young players going into playoffs? Because a lot of them haven't played in the OHL playoffs before.
Yeah, I think our team, we don't have many guys that played playoffs in the past because of COVID and everything. But I think one thing is kind of show them that it is a different game, no matter how many cliches you hear about playoffs being different from regular season. It is a different game. Everything's faster. Everyone's plays bigger. I think you just have to be ready for it. Take the next step in your game, and you can be great in regular season, but to prove you're great, you're a great player. You can be a first-round pick. You gotta play your game in playoffs and be dominant in playoffs as well.
Well, it certainly is going to be one of those situations. It's funny. Enoch Mwamba, who now plays for the Argos, but he's a Canadian kid. went to St. FX and was drafted by a couple of NFL teams, now playing with the Argos. And he, for his mantra, he's also doing some work with leukemia and lymphoma, but he says it to his team. He goes, it's just, be the one, as in be the one who makes the play. The thing about coaching for me is in team sports is you always want to be unified. You want to have a continuity. You want to understand what we do together, but it still comes down to that one player making a play. It doesn't matter what it is. Sometimes it's a block sometimes a block shot. Hey, I'll be honest. Sometimes it is a fight.
Yeah.
Like hockey's the one thing, people say, are you for fighting? It's not so much about being for fighting. It's just that I understand in that game, in that moment, a fight in the right place at the right time with the right players is a game changer. I'm not saying everyone needs to get on the ice or got to be a Donnybrook or you got to be a goon. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about there are circumstances in a hockey game where a fight can completely turn the game. And sometimes it is that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for sure. I think everyone's got to find that little thing that they're good at and just try to bring that consistently every night. And we're not going to ask it. No one's asking every guy to take the puck end to end. But maybe the play they have to make is a simple chip out of the zone, or a simple chip in the zone, or a simple stick check, or a block shot, or even maybe it is a fight if the time's right. But everyone's just got to find their little niche, and no matter if they're playing bad or good, they can still do that and bring that every game.
Now, you guys two played against the Eastern Conference a lot. Of course, you didn't play outside of the conference. Do you think that helps going into the playoffs that you've seen these teams so many times, or does it go the other way maybe?
No, I think it helps for sure. I think now I have a pretty good general idea of how every team plays, what every player in the Eastern Conference does. So I throughout the year it gets kind of boring playing the same teams and all. I'm excited to play the West and everything next year, but I definitely don't think it hurts playing the same teams all year. You get a good idea of what their structure is, how they break out, how they defend, and all that.
Well, your coach is very competitive, but he also prepares you very well. There's an expectation each and every night that you will win. It's not, it is doing your task, but there's a thought that you go out to win the game. I know that's real prevalent amongst all you guys, and that's why you're so close. The one thing I also would say that I think will show up and does show up is you can rely on your goaltending. And I don't think you go anywhere in the playoffs without that. And I know you guys have a belief in both guys.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have two goalies that are, I think, top 10 in every category in the league. I think every now and then, and we're very lucky to have that ability in both of them. Like for us, it doesn't really matter which one of them's in the net. We all know that if we play bad, we can still win this because they're in the net.
I also think too that, in playing that position that, that communication you have with your D is just so important. I think some people just think the goalie goes out there kind of in his own world and he, stops a bunch of shots. And so, you could really literally put a goalie on any team, even if he's a high playing, high skilled guy, but it doesn't work that way. There really has to be almost like when a shot comes in or when it's in your zone, you pretty much know both guys where the puck's going to be, where he's going to put that rebound, where he's going to put the puck for you. Are you tight enough now where you don't even really think about it? You know it's going to be in the right place.
Yeah, and also our goalies are probably the most vocal players on the ice. Like if I'm going back for a retrieval or in the D zone, they're always talking to me on like what the pressure's coming from, who's around, and then also like every time one of our defense makes like a stop or a nice outlet pass, they just like scream like "good job" to us and all that. So they're definitely the most vocal players on the ice, I would say. And yeah, you have a good idea of what they're gonna do when the puck comes at them, where they're gonna place it, like what their go-to spot is in rebound controls and stuff like that. But yeah, we can rely on them heavily.
Well, I am looking forward to this playoff series, and I'd also think that, as you said, being one of the more veteran guys, that there's a presence that is really needed by guys who have the experience. And I would think not only yourself, but if you're looking at your team, who are those step up guys? Who do the guys rely on and need to know and need to hear from? Do you think? And does it? And who is that on a daily basis?
I think on our team, yeah, it's I would throw me in that. I would throw Deli in there as our captain. Brando, Proots, um, probably Bastl and Joe. Those guys too. But Hardy, I think we have a bunch of those older guys that have played playoff games before. Because now, very few players in the league, unless you played when you're 16 years old as an 02 or an 01, you haven't played playoff games. So we're like the only guys. We're the only guys in our team with playoff games. So lots of the guys will probably rely on us heavily for playoffs, just kind of get understanding of what it's like, and the coaching staff will as well. So
Now, do you feel that, and I know that you did, but the young guys really, because of all those injuries, your young guys saw a lot of ice time this year.
oh, a ton, yeah. I think at one point we had 2D out, 4 forwards, so everyone's role increased, which is I think it was a really good thing for some of the guys in the lineup that weren't playing as much to kind of get more confidence, get more touches. So going into the final stretch of the year and going into playoffs, everyone's confidence is a little higher. You know, being young in this league can be kind of tough with your limited role and sometimes, and you're not always in the lineup and stuff like that. But when we were all out, I think it was definitely a boost of confidence to some guys, getting to play every night and playing like a meaningful role.
Now, does now that it's the playoffs, do you get advice from like family members? Like, does dad say something, or brothers? Like, what happens? Who's talking to you?
My dad tries to talk a lot to me. Sometimes. But he kind of tries to troll me a bit in a sense and say stupid things towards me. So there's
Like
that.
what? How does he troll you? What does he say to troll you?
Well, he coaches my brother's team, and he always tells me, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You just gotta grab him and twist him and all that.
So does he say what, like really great things about your brother? Like really great things that he does that you should be doing? Is that how he trolls you?
He takes credit for all their success pretty much, and he's HL right now and everything like that.
That's pretty tough when you get trolled at home. Well, I'm sure they're pretty excited about what's coming up, and there's really nothing like the playoffs. Like it's a special time, and your head coach certainly has been in enough playoffs at every level of hockey that I can possibly think of. Your assistant coaches are fantastic. Crackers is great. So look, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to so what we got for those listening here this morning. So it is so Brendan, it's a 7:00 start. Oh, why did I just miss that? Okay, 7:00 start on Friday. Then Sunday afternoon, it's a 2:00 start. Then the two games at Barrie are going to be Monday and Wednesday. Then a game 5, should there be one, is the following Saturday. It goes Barrie, and then if there is a game 7, that will be Wednesday, May 4th. I get it, Star Wars nerds. That's your favorite. May the 4th be with you. I get it. We don't have to talk about that. There'd be a game 7 at 7:00, but we're hoping that will be wrapped up before game 7. But the one thing about playing only those in the Eastern Conference is, and as Brendan mentioned, you've seen these guys enough. I don't think it's going to be very difficult for any team to have surprises. Now, that's not to say that your head coach hasn't planned some things that they hadn't seen before, because he's pretty good at that stuff. But I don't think anything Barrie's going to bring to you guys is going to catch you off guard. I don't think you can be shocked by anything Barrie does.
No, I don't think there are gonna be many surprises. I mean, this time of year, everyone kind of has their structure down pat. Everyone has their lines, their combinations they want to do, their power plays, everything like that, their structure. So I don't think anyone's really gonna throw any surprises or loopholes in there, unless maybe injuries happen. Shuffle some things. But yeah, I think we're expecting kind of that. Obviously, not the same Barrie team, but similar to what we've seen before.
Maybe you could put, I don't know, are you allowed to paint like a skull or something on your helmet? Like, can you do something really weird that people
We all got mullets, so
you'll go what?
we all got mullets for playoffs. So
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Just so you know, living through the era where we didn't call it that. We just called it getting a haircut. It was called hockey hair. There was nothing wrong. We all looked like Yager, all of us. And it was a good look, and you win games that way. So just so you know, I'm for it. Now I realize there's certain people from certain towns that probably just looked around and said, "Yeah, I was just getting a haircut." And maybe I'm just saying, Maybe if you're from Innisfail, maybe if you're from areas outside, you may not recognize that. But well, look, we're thrilled you joined us here this morning. We're behind you guys 100%. Hoping for a big crowd on Friday and on Sunday. You had 5,000 at that last game, which was just awesome. Let's see it again and cheer you guys on. So best of luck, Chucky, and I know we'll talk again soon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. That
is Charlie Callahan joining us here this morning. Mississauga Steelheads once again. First two games. Game 1, Mississauga at the Paramount. That is a 7 p.m. start. Play-by-play by Brendan Lang, who'll be talking like this. No, you won't. And then Sunday, April 24th, an afternoon start. So hopefully I'm going to be at both those games. I want to get out there and want to see it. So